Yo, what is up guys? This is Q here again, and in this video today I'm gonna show you guys how I actually try to make some sentences when I'm speaking a foreign language. I know that many languages such as Korean, they have a different word order, and it's very difficult to come up with your own sentences because you kind of have to talk backwards in Korean, right? So it's very hard. So this is kind of like what I do to make up sentences in a language. And this works with every single language. It's a little bit difficult to explain, and I'm not going to make like some kind of PowerPoint for it. I'm just going to do it on Notepad, and I'll just show you what I mean. All right, so here's like one of my strategies to make sentences in a different language. So let's start with the language we already know, like English, for example, right? So take this one. This works if you already have some kind of sentence already, and you use that sentence as a template, right? So say that we are given a sentence like "I have to go," right? And then now try to separate each word like so. And I would argue that "have to" is kind of like one word because you can't really separate. I'll show you what I mean later, right? And then now that we have separated all these words and "have to" is like one word basically, think about what type of category each piece is in. Like each of these pieces, like here's like one piece, two piece, and three pieces, right? So what kind of category would go be? Well, the word category for the word go is something called a verb, which is like an action word. But you don't even really have to know what a verb is. Just think about what can replace the word go. Would it be something like banana? Let's try. I have to banana. Doesn't really make sense, right? But how about the word like eat? I have to eat. Then oh yeah, that makes sense. That's like grammatically correct. That's because it's the same category. So yeah, if you imagine something like a slot machine, if you think that these are like three slots and then they move like vertically up and down, and imagine if you have like a list of verbs down here, like words like go, eat, and play, work, then you can just swap it up. So you can even say like I have to work. That makes sense. I have to eat. That also makes sense. How about something else? Like, I have to play. Oh, that makes sense as well. Yeah, and then try to swap out the other words. So, for example, this word right here. So, this is a category, the word I is a category of words called a pronoun. But again, you don't really have to know what the word pronoun means. Just use your intuition and try to think of similar words that fit into this slot. For example, it wouldn't be something like because. Because have to play. No, sounds kind of weird. But what if you say something like you? You have to play. Then that's grammatically correct, right? And then something like we have to play. That also makes sense too. So any time a pronoun is inserted here, it would at least be in the same order. But of course, if we have something like he, then this would have to change to he has to, right? So that's kind of like a horizontal thing. So you kind of have to think both ways. You have to think vertically, like it swaps out vertically, and it also may affect the sentence horizontally as well. So like those are the two things you have to work on. But at least you get the order of the words right. And the reason why so many languages are difficult to learn is because the word order may be completely different from your native language. For example, like English and Korean, we speak totally backwards, right? So that's why it's so difficult to construct a sentence that way. That's why it can be helpful to learn in a template like this. So I always like to think of templates. And then you get used to the sentence order over time. And even this like word has to, right? think of another word similar to has to. For example, how about needs to? He needs to play. Oh yeah, that makes sense too. How about wants to? Oh yeah, that also makes sense too. He wants to play. And later, as you get better at this, as you learn more, of course, this technique works only if you already have a lot of words under your belt, right? So you can swap it out, or you can even search on the internet the list of English verbs, and then you can swap out this, and then you can keep playing with the sentence order. Basically, the main goal of this is to make as many sentences as possible with the limited amount of words you know. All right, and then when you get good at this, you can even insert more words into the template. For example, he always wants to play, or he and then the similar word with always, like he never wants to play. That works too, you know? So now you're probably thinking, how can I use this with Korean or other languages? Well, it works exactly the same way. This is to get used to the word order, right? So let me try to write something in Korean. Okay, so here is a sentence I wrote in Korean. So say that you have this sentence already, you found it somewhere, and now you want to just play with it and make up new sentences, okay? So here is 저는 지금 학교에 가요. 저는 지금 학교에 가요, right? And I wrote the English translation down here below. So it's like, I now school to go. So it means like I'm going to school now, right? And then, so like the word order obviously is very, very different from English. And you're probably thinking like, okay, now how can I make sentences? Well, that's easy. We do the same thing we were doing with the English. So take a word like go, and then let's try to swap it out with a similar word of the same type. So think of what is a similar word to go. How about to eat? So I now school to eat, right? And obviously this has to change too. And yeah, obviously you have to already know the word to eat, right? That's why you gotta study your vocabulary. Or you can just look it up, I guess. So the word to eat in Korean is 먹어요. And now it means I'm eating at school now. The meaning of the sentence changes to I'm eating at school now. Well, this one, the to is kind of means like to and at, I guess. Kind of means both things in Korean. I should have mentioned that. So it's like I'm eating at school now. Wow, that's pretty cool. How about let's try switching something else. Let's try switching out the word for school. So how about we change it to work? All right. So the word for work in Korean is 일. So now it's like I am now eating at work. You see how the meaning changes like that, and you can just play with these slots, just swapping them vertically in and out, and you can create so many sentences out of this. And then same with this one, 지금, right? What's another similar word to 지금? Would it be like, how about next week? That's a pretty similar word. Next week. And next week in Korean is 다음 주, right? So now this part of the sentence changes to next week. So now it becomes I'm eating at work next week. And yeah, that's still grammatically correct. Yeah, guys, so when you guys are watching my videos about the Korean sentences, don't just memorize the phrase, but try to separate each word out from each other, and then try to swap out each word like this and make your own sentences and see how many sentences you can actually come up with. It could be kind of interesting because with such limited amount of words, as long as you have some kind of template, you can get used to the word order like this. So yeah, guys, that's basically my strategy for, well, one of my strategies for creating sentences in a language, especially if the word order is totally different from any language that I know. So yeah, I hope this helps, guys. And if you have any questions, let me know. And let me know what you guys think of this and how do you guys make sentences. See you guys in the next video.